Now we move on. In Moscow, Russia has expressed concerns over the potential U.S. supply of Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, emphasizing that the long-range weapons are capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has said that Moscow is awaiting clearer statements from Washington. Let's listen in.
Ну, мы так понимаем, что нужно дождаться, наверное, более четких заявлений, если они последуют. Если они последуют, я еще раз повторяю, если что касается поставок вооружения, сначала они происходят, а потом звучат уже заявления. По крайней мере, так всегда было при администрации Байдена. Нам это хорошо известно. Как на этот раз посмотрим, но что касается позиции Москвы, она была весьма недвусмысленно изложена президентом Путиным на недавнем встрече в рамках дискуссионного клуба «Валдай». Там все четко было сказано, это будет серьезный виток эскалации, который вместе с тем не сможет поменять положение дел на фронтах для киевского режима.
Trump has said that he would first want to understand Ukraine's intentions before approving the transfer, citing concerns over escalating the war. President Vladimir Putin has warned that such a move could destroy diplomatic ties with the United States. Tomahawk missiles with a range of up to 2,500 kilometers could enable Ukraine to strike deep into Russian territory. Now, for this discussion, we're joined by Professor Georgi Toloraya. He's an international affairs expert, joins us live from Moscow. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, looking at this news, looking at this news coming in, how do you assess the current state of U.S. and Russia relations?
Well, the state of Russian relations is far from what we desired just a couple of weeks ago after the Alaska summit. It's sort of in limbo, not much is going on. The dialogue on the diplomatic compounds and diplomatic function of diplomatic premises are paralyzed. There's nothing going on there. There are very little contacts, so there's not much causes for joy. And especially this news about Tomahawk possible supply to Ukraine is very concerning. It's causes a lot of bad feelings. It can really disrupt the dialogue because this is a qualitative escalation of the conflict. As was mentioned by you, these missiles are nuclear capable. So if they start off, no one knows whether it might carry a nuclear warhead. And they cannot be launched without U.S. direct guidance and the participation of U.S. citizens, U.S. servicemen. So that means another level of escalation. And also they're quite powerful. So they can be concentrated for some demonstrative strikes, like, for example, the strike for the Crimea bridge or something like this, on Moscow proper. So this is very disturbing because the reply will immediately follow, and it will be a strong reply. So I do believe that President Trump is just considering this option very carefully, and what he says is just another leverage of pressure to his Russian negotiation counterparts, not the actual plan to be implemented, but we shall wait and see because all the signals have been sent already.
And Professor Toloraya, some of our guests are saying that U.S. is warming up or towards Ukraine. What's your analysis? How do you see President Trump's shift in policy towards Ukraine, and how do you see it affecting NATO's unity and its strategic approach to the conflict with Russia?
Unfortunately, President Trump has under great pressure from outside, especially from Europe. And European politics towards the conflict and towards Russia cannot be really called rational. Ukrainians are doing things like last night they attacked another nuclear power plant in Voronezh, Novoronesh nuclear power plant. You should be really crazy to attack a nuclear station, which, if damaged, can contaminate not only Ukraine but all of Europe. And this is something really, to say, put it mildly, unreasonable. And this is being supported by Europe, and President Trump is getting much pressure from them. So I think it's a very worrisome development, and something should be done about this. But I don't know what else should happen to make President Trump to be more decisive in pursuing his goal of setting up peace, which he declared is his goal.
Yes, indeed. And now looking at the news that has come in yesterday with the confirmation that Ukraine used their domestically made missiles in recent strikes on Russian infrastructure, how does this reflect Ukraine's growing self-reliance in defense? And what do you think, what were they suggesting when they announced it?
Well, I'm not a military expert, so I cannot testify if this information is correct. But there's so much money being poured into Ukraine, and Ukraine used to have quite a good military industrial potential in Soviet times, so they obviously can do something. But the result is that the conflict is going on, and it's escalating, and it's deepening, and it doesn't have any good consequence for anybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Georgi, for sharing that insight. And please stay with us as we come back to you, and now we stay on this topic.